What other significant blood tests should people know about and you really speak to their doctor about?
Yeah, fasting insulin, I think, is the one I'd like to look at, because you can have a normal fasting glucose but a high insulin, so you need to have the insulin. You didn't mention HbA1c, but there's some doubt about that because some people, the HbA1c is a bit more elevated than it should be, so it can give you the wrong reasons. I think you need something to tell you what the function of your liver is as well, to see if you've got fatty liver, and that would also be helpful. And no one measures LDL cholesterol, but you could measure triglycerides and HDL. Okay. And if you really got fancy, you might look at oxidized LDL cholesterol if you could measure that. And the small dense particles, which are not the right ones to have the LDL cholesterol. You know, what I've learned in reading all the historical literature and the more modern literature is that once you're eating a high carbohydrate diet, you get this morass of abnormalities. They all sit there. You may be worse on one than the other, but they're all elevated. And once you go on this diet, they all come down. And there may be outliers that one or two are not perfect. But as long as you've got the majority, they will tell you that you're doing well. And so I think it's the fasting insulin is one, and the triglycerides and HDL cholesterol. If those three are looking good, then that's excellent. If you've got a liver marker as well that's looking good, then those would be the factors. You mentioned inflammatory markers, and I'm not sure that I know which is the best inflammatory marker yet, but I would agree. If you could also show that your body was not inflamed, that would also be helpful. Great. And again, sorry, there's one thing we haven't forgotten. The omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. Now, I don't know if you can get that measured, but I think that's underestimated because if you find that you've got too many omega-6s, then you need to increase your fish intake and do a few other things as well.
Yeah, from what I know, that can be measured. There's a lab in Cape Town that can measure that ratio. I think it's really important just because of the diet and all these processed oils that are just so hidden.